All right, welcome back. So this video is specifically for ChatGPT, for data scientists, for data analysts, for machine learning engineers and AI engineers. So if you're planning to become a data scientist or data analyst or any of that domain, this video is very critical for you, and it's going to help you. It's going to shorten your journey. It's going to really make your journey so smooth and easier for you. All right. So specifically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the most critical things that you can use ChatGPT to do, and some of the things that I'm actually doing myself, right, as a data scientist, some of the things that I use ChatGPT to do, and how you can do it, especially if you're a beginner and starting off in this field as a data scientist or analyst, and you're trying to find your way out. This is going to be very critical for you. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this video. I'm going to break it down to your learning stage, right? So as you're starting your journey to, become a data scientist or data analyst, some of the things that you can use ChatGPT to smoothen your journey. And then we go to your coding stage, right? So as you are in the process of learning, some of the things that you can use ChatGPT to do to ease your coding experience and your data analysis and all that, I'm going to show you in this video. And then in your interview stage, so as you learn, as you acquire the skills, as you become a master of your skills, and you're ready to go into the interview stage or apply for a job to the next stage, right? Some of the things that you can do with this ChatGPT to help you is your interview. So that is what I'm going to show you over here. All right, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is that I'll skip the basics. What is what is ChatGPT and which company created it? I'm sure by now you have an idea of what ChatGPT is and which company. If you don't know, I have a link to a document below this video, which you can read about it, right? It's basically created by OpenAI, which we've known them for quite some time, of creating most of the innovative AIs in the industry, right? So you can read more about them. I've given a link on this video, and ChatGPT is basically for text-based, right? Question answering, right? So you give it a prompt, then it gives you a response. Okay, it doesn't do things like computer vision tasks, right? Basically for text, right? That's natural language processing. So it doesn't do video or images. That is the computer vision part. It does most of the natural language processing part, which is the text, right? But remember, natural language, we also have the audio part. But ChatGPT as of now doesn't do that. Maybe they will improve it as time goes on, which is characteristics of every product out there, right? So let's get started over here. So as I said, I'm going to break this one down from your learning stage, from your coding stage, and then to your interview stage. So on your learning stage, these are some of the things that you can do with ChatGPT. Okay, if you're starting out, let's say you want to become a data scientist, right, or you want to become a data analyst, but you don't really know which path to take, right? I've given you a link to a document of this video, which you can take, right, for your reference as data analyst or data scientist, the path that you're supposed to take. I've given a link to a document over there which you can take a look, but you can use ChatGPT to do all of that. Okay, so for instance, let's say I'm starting out in the field of data science, right? I want to become a data scientist or a data analyst, but I don't really know where to start. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'll come to ChatGPT, and then by the way, I've given also the link to this interface that I'm using, which is the UI for the ChatGPT, right? So if you don't have it, you can just use the link that I've provided, and you can practice on your own, right? So this is what I would do for the first thing. I'll come here and then I'll write something like give me a step-by-step path to become a data scientist, right? So this is what I'll write. Just let's do that and see what comes. Okay, now let's see the prompts that are coming. Now, if you see what is coming, this is great, right? So it's actually telling you what you're supposed to do. So first start with the fundamentals, learn statistics and mathematics, right? And it's even giving you some explanation, some of the specific things that you're supposed to learn in, say, math and stat. And then if you go the second stage, you're supposed to do what data scientists typically use programming languages such as Python or R. So I mean, when you finish with start, go to Python or R, right? And then after that, you should learn data wrangling, which is data pre-processing and all that EDA stuff. That is what you're supposed to do. So from statistics to Python to data wrangling, which is, I mean, exploratory data analysis, and then you move on to data visualization, right? And then after that, you start with your machine learning, right? Start with machine learning right there, right? And then after that, you go to the big data technologies, right? And it's giving you specific things that you're supposed to learn. Some of these things are subjective, right? Because you can become a data scientist by working on, say, NLP projects or working on computer vision projects, right? Which you may want to specialize in those kind of areas, right? So before you finish the basics over here, you know what to do next, right? So I mean, you just have to first have an idea of what these things are, and then you choose the area that you want to master, right? Because you have to be a master of something, not just a generalist, but a master of something that you can really do and do well with, right? And then you see the 7th point here, build portfolio. So if you're going for an interview, they're actually going to ask you what you have done before. They want to see a proof of concept, right? So your portfolio, your GitHub link, those are the things that you're going to look for, right? Not maybe your college grades and stuff like that. It's not really what the industries need. They really want to see a proof of concept, a project that you have done, and then a walkthrough of that project. So that is what it's telling you over here. And then network, that's when LinkedIn come into place. So your network that you have in your LinkedIn, right, are going to be, very resourceful, right? Now, if you watch some of the videos in the full stack data scientist course, you see that I showed you step by step how to connect with relevant people, and also how to even optimize your LinkedIn account and make good connections with employers and recruiting managers over there, right? So I mean, those are the things that you do. So after all that, that's when you start applying for the jobs. So this is good, but there's something that I want you to do which is even better than this. So you have the general path over here, which is the 9th step over here. Okay, what I want you to do is now I'm gonna copy the same question or the same prompt over here, and then I'll put it here. Now instead of give me a step-by-step path to become a data scientist, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write here, give me a weekly. So I want it to break it down for me so that for every week I know what to do, or for every month I know what to do. So give me a weekly step-by-step path to becoming a data scientist. So that is something that I want to do. Now let's see how this one comes, because I want to order my steps. I want to know that, okay, each week this is what I'm gonna do, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to now move on to the next week. Then I know what tasks there. Now you can see week 1, this is what you're supposed to do. Week 2, right? Week 3, week 4. So this one helps you break the concept down step by step for you to do. So now instead of just say by day or by weeks, this is what I'm going to do. Let me paste this here, right? So give me a weekly step by step path, right, by topic or something like that. Or maybe let me do it this way. Give me a weekly topic step-by-step path to become a data scientist. So once I do it this way, now it's gonna give me based on week and which topics I'm supposed to learn. Now you see what it's starting with, right? So week 1, I'm supposed to do fundamentals of statistics, right, or statistics fundamentals, and then programming fundamentals, data wrangling, data visualization. So now it's giving me according to the topics that I'm supposed to learn every week, which is crazy, right? Which is great. Now one thing that I'm going to do is that, say if I pick whatever that it is giving me, statistical fundamentals, now this is what I'm going to do. Give me let me do this. Give me resources with links, right, to learn statistical fundamentals. So this is what I'm gonna do over here, because I'm creating my path. I also want the resources, I want the links to go and learn it. Now I see that it's giving you, right, Khan Academy. If you go there, this particular topic, you'll find it over here, right? If you go to this link over here, you'll be able to learn this. So you see how the resources are coming, right? How the resources are coming. So this is how I actually generate all the resources that I need, either at my workplace or project that I'm working on, right? So this is just for one topic, and you can do it for any topic that you want. Okay. Now, if I specifically want maybe for YouTube videos, I'm gonna do something like this. I'm just gonna copy it put it here, and then give me resources with YouTube links, with YouTube video links, right? So I'm going to do it this way. Now it's going to give me resources with respect to some YouTube videos that are related to the topic that I want to learn more about, right? So now you see that it's generating all that, and it's giving me those YouTube videos that I can learn. And then for each of the topics, so I don't have to go through, go to YouTube and search thousands of videos about the topic. It's actually doing everything for me. All right, so let me do last one of this one. Then I go, let's say I want something related to, say, computer vision. So I can just do computer vision, right? So give me resources with links. So I want YouTube video links to learn computer vision, and you can give a specific topic. So this one I'm giving computer vision, which is kind of general, right? So in computer vision there are a lot of topics in there, but if I want specific topic, maybe I'm working on certain thing and I need specific video to explain that for me, I can easily come here and then type it here, get it sorted out, right, without me going through number of videos to figure it by itself. Okay, so that is your learning stage. So as you're starting out, these are the things that you can do. Now let's say you're in the process of learning it. You have this curriculum created. You've done it for yourself, or maybe you've used the guide that I've provided in the description. You've used whatever that you have used. You have the path over there, right? You have a plan. Now whilst you're learning, there are certain things that you might want to do. So let's say you've learned one programming language. In data science or data analytics, mostly we use Python, right? But there are some guys who like using R or using Java or something like that. But mostly we use Python, right? So let's say you're coming from, say, Java background, so you know Java but you don't know Python, right? So there are certain things that you can easily write in Java, but since you don't know Python yet and you're learning it, it becomes difficult to write that. What you can do is to write that code in, say, Java, and then convert it in Python, right? So ChatGPT can help you do that easily, right? So right now I don't have any Java code, but I want ChatGPT to write Java code for me, then I'll convert it to Python for you to see. So write a Java code to do what? Maybe to accept user input, maybe give discount of the purchased product, right? So something like that. So now I'm going to do this. Let me zoom this thing in so that you see everything clearly, right? So I want to write a Java code to accept a user input, and I'll give a discount of the product. So let's do that and see what ChatGPT is gonna do. So sure, it's gonna write it for us, right? So this is the Java code. Now let's say I don't understand what is going on over here. I want to convert this to Python. I can easily do that. So I can do, so you saw that I just copied it from here, right? So I'm just coming here, then I'm gonna do convert this Java code to Python. As simple as that. Then I'll put some color here, paste it, press enter, and then let's see. Sure, here it is. Now this is Python. Now you see that. So now simply from Java we converted everything to Python. Now you see in Java you write a lot of code, but in Python it's quite simple, right? So that's why we love Python for data science and for data analysis and all that. All right, so that is how you do it. And let's say you know SQL but you don't know Python. Now you're moving from SQL to Python, right? So some of the things that you can do is to convert, maybe if you know SQL already, just write your code in SQL, convert it to Python, right? So let's say write an SQL code to maybe find customers. So I'm just giving hypothetical, find customers who live in say Boston and who are 30 years old, who are older than, let me do that, given a good condition, older than 30 years old, and maybe in salary greater than let's say $100,000, right? Okay, so this is what I have. So I'm going to write that code in SQL. Now, once the SQL code is written, now we want to convert this SQL code to Python. Quite easy. Now you see, is this SQL. I'm gonna write it here. Now convert this code. This maybe, let me be specific. This SQL code to Python. Right, then I do this, I paste it there, press enter, and that's it. Great. Now you see what it did, right? It's going to give you whatever that is. Sorry, I should clarify that SQL and Python are two different languages with different syntax. SQL is primarily used for working with databases and blah, 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 but it's going to convert it for you. That's the most important thing that you want, right? You want it to convert from one language to another language, and that's it. You have it over there, right? So if you even know one programming language and you don't know the other, you can still do it, right? It's quite simple, right? And some of the things that you can even do with ChatGPT is explaining certain concept for you. So for instance, I can maybe I'm learning machine learning, but I heard a word called imbalance, right? So maybe I heard a word called imbalance data, right? So I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT what is imbalance data, right? Also, I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna say explain imbalance data with example with example Python code to solve imbalance data. Right, so I'm just gonna do it this way. I know the question is not that intuitive, but it's just gonna do it. So it's gonna explain it to you, and then it's gonna write a Python code for you to now it's giving you some strategies that you can use to solve this imbalanced data. So you can see how it's doing it. It's quite easy and it's quite intuitive. Now see, it gave one strategy, gave you a code that you can use. It's giving you another strategy, and it's giving you a code that you can use to do that, which is, I mean, interesting, right? It makes your work easy. Now this is another strategy that you can use, and it's also giving you how you can use solve it with explanation, right? Alongside explanation. Now this even gets me to one more thing that you can do. So let's say you sometimes when you're learning data science or when you're working on a project, you might want to do certain things, right? And then you find that, okay, you went to say Stack Overflow, or you went to somewhere, you get a code, but you don't really understand what is there. Or maybe you're working in a company, and then you came to meet the code, right? Someone wrote the code. Now you are the one to figure the code out and modify it to do certain kind of new development, but you don't really understand what is there. One thing that you can do is to just copy the code. So this is one of the projects that I'm doing over here. It's kind of a huge project that I'm doing over here. So I'm gonna see if I can get some code that I've not commented out. So I have a lot of comments here. I just want a small chunk. Let's say this code, right? So let me copy this code, and then I'm gonna come here, right? Now let's say this is the code. I gave you this code, right? But you don't really know what this code is doing, right? So this is just a simple one that I copied, but it can be a huge line of code that is written and you don't really understand what is going on. So what I can do is I can come here, and then I do explain this code for me. I'll paste it over here, press enter, and it's just going to explain whatever the code is doing over here for you, right? For you to really understand whatever that is doing. I mean, you don't have, I mean, if you're in this area learning data science, it's easier. It's way easier than, I mean, the way that we learned it in the hard way. But so let me move on to even the next thing. So let's say that is the code that I have, right? But if you're in the industry and you're doing a big project, right, and you write a code like that, let's say you write a huge code. You see this one, each line that I did, I give a comment, right? I give a comment over there so that you know whatever that I'm doing, right? There's some kind of comments. But let's say that there were no comments in there and I want to provide a comment. I don't want to write all this code and I will sit down and be writing all the comments in there. One thing that I can do, so this one here, you see there's no comment. So I'm going to copy this code and then I'll go back to ChatGPT and then I say write a comment in this Python code for me. Paste it there, do this. Now, this is what it's going to do. It's going to provide comments of each step. Now, you see that whatever that is doing over there is going to comment, right? It's going to provide a comment. Awesome. Awesome. That's what you need. That's exactly what you need. So once you have the code and there are comments in this, I mean, if it is 1 month later you come back, you still get to know what is there. And if you're submitting this for your team or for your project manager, this is great, right? This is standard way of writing code. You need to provide, explanation to the code so that each person that picks your code knows what the code is doing, right? So simply I can copy it here and then I'll come back and then I'm going to delete whatever is here and paste it. Good. Now I see that I have all the explanations in there. That's it. And that's what I want. All right. Now, this is, let me undo it so that I get this one. All right. So now let's see some of the things too that you can do. Let's say that I write this code, right? So I write the code, right? Let me go back here. I write the code, but I'm not really sure if this is the right way to do it, or maybe there could be a better way of doing it. So what I can do is that I can come here and then I come here, then I write something like optimize this, optimize this Python code for efficiency. Especially this one is going to be important when you're building machine learning models and you want to optimize it for quick running, especially if you're using your local system you're running on it. It can crash on the way, right? So you can optimize it so that I build the model but in a more efficient way. So optimize this code for me. So I just do it like this, and it's just going to rewrite the code for you of a better way of doing it, right? So you can see that it's just rewriting the code. You can, I'll copy it and put it there, and you can compare this one with the one that was there, right? Let's go back, and then I'm just gonna put it down. Let me go here, right? So this from here, I'm gonna do this, and I'll paste the new one there, right? So you can see that it's a two different thing that is doing for us, right? So this is some of the things that you can do, especially in SQL. SQL queries need to be optimized always. So these are the things that you can do. Once you write your SQL code, just go to ChatGPT and then ask it to optimize it for you. Or if you're building machine learning models, just go there and then ask it to optimize it for you. Or maybe tune the hyperparameters for you. Instead of you doing it for yourself, just come here and then ask ChatGPT to tune the hyperparameters for you, and it's just gonna do it for you. All right. And not that you have to even bring the code. Let's say that you're deliberating with your team, or you have a project in mind that you want to do. One thing that you can do is, let's say I want to write Python code to scrape data from, say, Trader, right? And then use that data to perform certain tasks. I can write everything here, and it's just going to give me the skeleton of the code that I'm supposed to use, and it's going to be very easier for me. I'm just going to give it hypothetical example. So let's say we want to scrap data from say Trader. So write Python code that script, not just Python but any programming language, right? Write Python code that scrap data from Trader, right? From Trader, and let me do this for weather, something like that, right? So write Python code that script data from Trader for weather analysis. So let me do this. This is even simple query, but you can make it as complex as possible, and it's still going to do it. Going to write the skeleton, or the skeletal code for you, which you can do it. So this one I even did it for Trader, and you can see quite robust, right? I don't have to sit down, think about it, what I'm supposed to do and all that. It's just gonna write everything for you, right? So the only thing that you need is your your consumer key, your consumer secret key, your access token and all that. and that's it. Just run the code and it's done, right? I mean, this one I did it for trader. Let me just copy the code here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for, say, I'm just gonna change trader to Amazon, right? So let's say I want oh, come on, yeah, it's just gonna do that, but I want write Python code that script data from Amazon for customer analysis. So let's see what it's saying over there. All right, so it's just gonna do it. Now you see that the format of this one is different from this one, where you need these kind of keys to do it. All right, so I mean, it's awesome, right? It's awesome. You don't really have to sit down and worry about it. It's quite awesome, and it's giving you explanation of whatever that is doing right here. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna do one more for, I mean, for this kind of writing and all that, right? So write a Python code to maybe build a machine learning model that predicts something like that, that predicts whether a customer is going to default on a loan or not. So let's see. Okay, now it's just gonna do it for you. I mean, that's great. The only thing that you need is your data set, right? The only thing that you need is your data set. Put it in there, run it, and that's it. You're done, right? You're done. I mean, it's quite crazy. It's even checking the accuracy and printing everything for you here, right? It's as simple as that. And you can even copy the same code and ask it to I mean, tune the hyperparameters, do hyperparameter optimization for you. So I'm just gonna do it like that. Okay, perform hyperparameter optimization for this code, for this, maybe let me do it for this Python code. I'm just gonna do this. You see that? And it's just gonna do that. It's going to use curate to do that, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you see that it's using the param, it's setting the param grade right here, right? Just it's checking various different param grade over here, right? You see that using the logistic is kind of crazy and awesome here, right? You don't really have to worry yourself in doing all that. I mean, we learned it the hard way, but this kind of make your job and your journey, I mean, easier, right? So the next thing that I'm gonna do is your interview stage. So let's say you've used all these resources to your advantage, and you've learned all that. Now you get to the interview stage, and that's when people get nervous, but not again. I mean, ChatGPT makes it quite easier for you. Now on the interview stage, what you're going to do is you can set your own interview questions if you want, or you can follow some of the steps that I'm going to share with you to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that first I'm going to write something like maybe interview me. So interview me for a beginner. So let's say you're beginner level. I'm just gonna do it for beginner level, for mid level, or for senior level. I mean, experience level, right? So beginner level or entry level, right? So let me do that for entry. So interview me for entry level data science position. Right now, let's see what is going to happen. So these kind of things give you an idea of what the recruiters are giving, because this is getting it from what what is likely to be asked to you as an entry level. So tell me about your educational background in data science. What experience do you have with data analysis and machine learning? How do you typically approach a data analysis project? How do you ensure that your results are accurate and trustworthy, right? And all that. So I mean, these are kind of things that you are likely to be asked, but I want to make it specific, because I mean, if I'm a recruiter, I want to see specific things, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy it here, and then I'm going to do it here. So interview me for an entry-level data science technical position. So I mean, mainly, or maybe let me do it this way. Interview me for entry-level data science position for the technical part. I mean, you can write it the way that you want it to do, and it's still gonna do it for you. So these are some of the technical questions that you may be asked during your interview process, right? So can you describe your experience with data visualization tools? Which tools are you familiar with? Can you provide examples of visualizations you have created in your past, right? Some of the things, what is confusion matrix? Can you explain its components? So I will be playing around with this because each time you give it a prompt, it's going to give you different answers, right? So you don't really need to sit down for mock interviews and all that. You can do everything from here. And one thing that I would do, because I mean, these are questions, right? You really want to see the answers. So I will copy this one. Once I have provided my own answers to these kind of questions, I want to see if I answered it right? So I'll come here, and then I'm gonna do this: provide answers to these questions, right? Or maybe I can even be specific, and then I'll do these data science, right? These data science interview questions, right? Then I'll do this, and I'll paste all of them over here. Now I'll see what it's gonna do. It's gonna provide all of them here. So what is your experience with Python? Which libraries are you familiar with for data science? Now you see that I have extensive experience with Python. So this is how you're supposed to answer it. What is confusion matrix? Can you explain its components and all that? Now it's giving you a confusion matrix, and it's giving you the components over there, right? So this is how I would have approached it, okay? And this is going to really help you crack the interview so easily. Now this is good, but there's even better way of doing it. One thing that I would do is I'll go to, let me do this. I'll go to I'm gonna go to LinkedIn. All right, then when I get to LinkedIn, this is what I'm gonna do. Jobs, right? So I'm gonna go to jobs, and let's say data scientist, whatever. I mean, I'm just gonna search here, data scientist. Okay, now let's say this is it. Right now I come here, and then I have this job. Let's say I want to apply for this job, right? But I will not just simply click on apply and then go and apply. What I would do is that I want to first assess myself. So I'll copy, I will just first read it. This is what they need. So you have, this is the experience that they want, experience with your programming languages and all that. Nice if you have this. Clearance, applicants selected will be subject to scrutiny and all that. That's fine. So this is mainly what they require you to have. So I'm gonna copy that, and then I'll go to ChatGPT. Now once I get here, I'm going to do this: interview me for this job position. Okay, then I'll paste it there. All right, now it's going to generate interview questions based on the requirement over here. So once I'm going in, I already have a clue of what they are going to ask me, right? Now you see some of the questions that are likely to be asked during the interview, right? So I can provide my own responses to this, and then once I'm done, I can just copy it again, come here, then I'll do provide answers to this data science interview position. All right, interview position, come on, questions, I think so. Right, then I'll do something like that, then I'll do that. So now it's going to provide me answers to whatever questions that are there, right? So as an AI language model, I don't have personal experience, but I can provide. This is ChatGPT saying that it doesn't have personal experience as a data scientist, of course, but it's going to provide you with whatever answers that you need. So I have extensive experience using Python to manipulate and analyze data. For example, in my previous project, I used Python to clean and pre-process a large data set of customer reviews before running. So these are some of the things, or how you're supposed to approach those kind of questions when they ask you during your interview. Okay. And there are even more interesting things that you can do. So let's say I'm going for, say, Amazon, right? Amazon data science position. So Amazon, they have different job positions for data science. So interview me for Amazon, specifically Amazon 2, right? So they have something like this: Amazon 2 data science. No, I think it's like this: Amazon data scientist 2. I think it's like this, right? Yeah, this is how they have it: data scientist 2 position, right? So either data scientist 1 or data scientist 2 position. That's how they have it. So I can specifically do something like this, and it's just gonna do it for me, right? It's gonna interview me for that specific position. So if you know a specific company that you are going for an interview over there, you can do something like this to have a clue of the questions that they are going to ask you. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to give you, I mean, most likely questions that they're going to ask you, and you'll be much confident in facing the interview without, I mean, having any issue or fidgeting in any way, right? Okay, the last thing that I want to show you is you can even create your resume. So create a resume for a maybe mid level. I'm just using hypothetical, so you can use beginner level, entry level, experience level, whatever, right? So create a resume for a mid-level data science. Create a resume for a mid-level data science. Maybe let me rewrite this thing to make it. Create a data scientist resume for a mid-level position. This one makes more sense, right? Okay, so let's see how it's gonna do it. Now you see how it's doing it. Your name needs to come, your address, your phone number, your email. You need to provide some summary, right? It's giving you an example of the summary that you've given, your number of years that you have, right? Your educational level, your technical skills, your experience level, right? So I mean, some of the things that you have done, you need to give it over there. Some certifications, some professional memberships that you're part of it, some reference if you want. Okay, so you see, it's giving you a format of how you will be able, I mean, how you're supposed to write your resume as a mid-level, right? And you can do this for, entry level, beginner level, whatever that you want, right? So I hope you've actually loved this video. It's a lot of tons of insight that I've provided here, and it's very helpful. It's something that I do myself with my personal, one-on-one students that I coach. These are things that I've included over there that we do to help them. And to help myself as well. So I hope this is really good and you like it. Leave all comments in the comment section, and I'll respond to them, right? And click on the subscribe button so that things like this are going to help you, that I'm going to provide for this kind of channel. It's going to really help you. So as soon as I upload, you can have the notification over there, right? So see you in the next video. Have a nice day.